Welcome children, take out your English literature book, Longman Impression, Revised Edition, Part 7, Chapter 10, My Home Environment. Before explaining this chapter, let me tell you that in my previous video, I have already explained Rabindranath Tagore's My Home Environment. In it, I have explained about his elder cousin, Tagore's elder cousin Gyanendra, how he passed away and what he used to do. Now, let's start the story. I remember how trifling circumstances earned for me and the special regard of Gunendra. Now, Tagore, what he is saying that still now means now Rabindranath Tagore, he had grown old and he is writing about his own autobiography. Here he is saying that he could remember his childhood days, that how a small circumstances, that is, which is a very unimportant circumstances, had brought a special reward for his cousin Gunendra. Never had I got a prize except once for good conduct. Now, Tagore, according to Tagore, that he had never got a prize at school except for one good conduct. My nephew Satya was the best at his lessons and was awarded a prize at an examination. Now his cousin Satya, he was very good at studies, and so one time he got a prize at an examination. As we came home that day, I jumped out of the carriage to give the great news to Gunendra. Now, on that day when they returned home, what happened? Tagore, he jumped out of the carriage and tell that great news to Gunendra. Satya has got a prize, I shouted and ran to him. Now, as Tagore was very small and his cousin got a very prize, Tagore was very much excited. So, what he did? He came out of the carriage and he ran towards Gunendra and said that Satya has got a prize. He drew me close and smilingly asked, "And have you got a prize?" Now, Gunendra, he called him close and smilingly asked that if Tagore had got a prize. "No, not I, it's Satya," I said excitedly. Now, Tagore, in excited voice, he said that no, he didn't get it. Instead, Satya got him. My genuine pleasure at Satya's success touched him, and he remarked to his friend that this was a very commendable trait. Now, his genuine pleasure, that means actually he was happy at Satya's success. Now what happened? It was touched, means Gunendra was very much impressed at it, and he remarked to his friend that this was very praiseworthy thing. I had earned a prize for not getting a prize. Now, Tagore, he had earned a prize for not getting, means he didn't get the prize at school, but still everyone has praised it. That means he got a more great prize than for not earning a prize. Gunendra usually told me stories from Indian history. Now, Gunendra always used to tell stories from Indian history, and I used to show him the things I had myself composed. Now, Tagore, at that time Tagore, he was just a mere child. What he used to do? He used to show all the things what he used to compose by himself. By then I was writing small poems, and my cousin Gunendra was not a harsh critic. Now, during that time, as Tagore was very small, he used to write small poems, and his cousin Gunendra, he was not a harsh man. He expressed his opinion candidly and often burst out laughing when the childishness in my poetry stood out too much. Now, what happens? He used to express his opinion very smilingly, and then he used to burst out laughing if he used to find something childishness in his poetry, and which used to carry out. My eldest brother had always busy writing his master. Now, his eldest brother, he always remained busy with writing his masterpiece. The dream journey, cousin Gunendra would come to listen to it each morning as my brother read it out. Now, the dream journey. Now, cousin Gunendra, what he used to do? He used to listen to it every morning as his brother used to read it out, and the veranda would shake with them. And often what used to say that the veranda would shake out with their laughter. We would peep and eavesdrop and enjoy the feast of poetry. Now, as Tagore at that time was very small, what he used to do? He used to peep out and he used to listen secretly and enjoy the feast of the poetry. Though we really neither understood the dream journey nor felt they need to be understand it in order to enjoy it. Now, during that time, Tagore was so small that he couldn't understand it properly, the dream journey, nor he felt any need to understand it in order to enjoy it. It is now that I realize that we don't have that kind of majlis or social gatherings anymore. Now, Tagore has become old, Tagore has become mature, and now he could realize that he doesn't have that kind of majlis or even the social gathering. Our boyhood days saw the gradual disappearance of intimate social relations. Now, here their boyhood days, that means the young days have seen the gradual disappearance of the social relationship. Neighborly feelings were not too strong that gatherings are necessity, that the gatherings were a necessity. Now what happened when Tagore grew up, neighborly feelings became less, means neighborly feelings were not so many, that the gatherings became a necessity, and those who could participate well were admired, and those who could participate well, they could be admired. People nowadays call on each other on business or a matter of social duty. Now, during that time when Tagore grew up, what happened? People used to call each other either to discuss their business, means their work, about their work, or as a social duty, but not to gather for a majlis for which they had neither time nor any inclination to enjoy. Now the people during that time, people had no time. They had no time to gather for majlis, no, they want to do anything, means they do not have any such feelings that they would enjoy all these things. What goings and comings we used to see, how merry were the rooms and verandas with the hum of conversation and snatches of the laughter. Now during that time, Tagore could remember his childhood days, that how much goings and comings used to go, means people sometimes someone used to go, someone used to come, and during that time Tagore could see all these things, and they were very much happy. The rooms were filled with merriment, and the verandas were filled with conversations of people and snatches of laughter. Our elders possess the quality to keep us animated and amusing conversation in the midst of social. Now, their elders, Tagore believed that their elders, they had the ability to keep them lively, and even amusing conversation in the midst of social. Men still come and go, but those same verandas and rooms seem empty and deserted. Still now, when Tagore grew up, he could see people coming and going, but the verandas and the rooms which were filled with majlis and social gathering, they seems to be empty and even deserted. The problem is that we have lost what we had, and we have not been able to build up afresh. Now problem is whatever thing they had, all have got lost, and they couldn't build a new fresh one. We no more contrive opportunities to bring men together simply because we love our family. Now they still what happened, and then they say that according to Tagore, that they have no more contrive of, they do not get, means such lively arrangement, they do not get such opportunities to bring men together simply because they love their fellow men. When I look back on those people whose ringing laughter comes straight from their hearts. Now, when he rings, that means when he look back at, he could hear, means Tagore, when he looks back to his childhood days, he could hear the laughter coming straight from the hearts, and he used to lighten us the burden of household cares. And hearing this, all his burden of household cares used to get lightened up. They seem to have been visitors from some other world. Now what they could see that some visitors are there who come from some other parts of the world. Now take out your diary, write chapter 10, my home environment, explanation completed, homework, revise it. And with this I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.